everyone, welcome back to our channel, DeFIRL, your wormhole from TradFi to DeFi. In this episode, we're going to talk about Prop 16 for JUNO, which is a token built on the Cosmos ecosystem, and more importantly, why that might matter for you. It is actually historic stuff going on. Hello guys, as usual, nothing of what we say in this video should be taken as financial advice. If you actually need financial advice, please speak to a pro. Alright Brad, this is your arena. We are talking about JUNO. JUNO is it's like an L1, I'll let you explain later on. It's sort of like an L1 built on Cosmos. So before we begin and talk about JUNO, right, which is actually pumped 15% today, very nice. Did not buy it. What is Cosmos? I guess let's start there.
Okay, we did a video on Osmosis, one of the chains in Cosmos. We'll link the video to it on the top corner right there. You can check it out. But essentially, Cosmos has always been labeled as a layer 0 chain, which means that it offers the infrastructure for a lot of other projects to build upon it. It's like the base, the settlement layer, the base layer for a lot of these projects that have existed. Some of the projects that we know and that's dear to our hearts, like Terra, JUNO being one, Osmosis being another one, and Secret Network as well. So think of Cosmos as like a highway that connects all these blockchains together. Because if you look at Ethereum, for example, Bitcoin, for example, Solana, for example, right, all of them play along their own chains, right? You can build a dApp that's on Ethereum that doesn't interact very well with Bitcoin or Solana. So with Cosmos, right, everything is harmoniously linked, and it's not very expensive to bring things around. So imagine if you have an NFT of like, Doquan, right, for example, on Terra, and then if someone builds an NFT platform on Osmosis, for example, or maybe more specifically on JUNO, you can just bring it over from Terra to JUNO and show it off to the world in JUNO.
Cool. It's very similar to the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine. It's like, in fact, they are kind of like rivals, I would say, because EVM you have, I think AVAX, you have Phantom, right? EVM compatible chains. What's that? Binance Smart Chain as well. They talk one language in EVM, and then there's this other one called Cosmos, where they not only share the network but also the security.
Correct.
Right? There's a phrase, I think they said that they borrow the security.
I think that's called interchain security, yeah. I don't think that's live yet, but it's very heavily hyped in the community, right? So when it goes live, the demand for the Atom token might go parabolic, and usually when that happens, Namba goes up.
NFA. But so anyway, so then let's talk a little bit about JUNO, because I know from talking to you, one very unique aspect about Cosmos is that the token itself, for some reason, doesn't really go up, right? Doesn't really move a lot, even though the value it brings is immense. But that doesn't mean that you actually cannot, I guess, profit off the ecosystem, because the way you do it is through airdrops, right? If you stake your Cosmos, you actually get those new tokens being built on Cosmos. And one of those projects was JUNO, am I right? I don't even have a single, well, I have some Cosmos in Binance, but before the ban, it's still stuck there. And so I've not interacted with the Web3 wallets in Cosmos, but I do know that JUNO was one of them, and that's how you got your JUNO as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or you bought it off one of the DEXs.
So I bought it off, I bought it just late last year,
right?
1 month after it was airdropped. And for context, right, what airdrop means is that for a lot of proof of stake tokens out there, how they come into existence per se is that a lot of the tokens have already existed, 1 billion of them, 10 billion of them, or whatever supply that is. Airdrop is basically me, as the creator of a token, depositing a token, JUNO, for example, into your wallet. And how do they decide who to give that token to, right? It's not just like Santa Claus and giving gifts to everyone. It is, if you are a staker of the token Atom, they would look at that as a criteria for you being a a very someone who supports the ecosystem.
Yep.
You're not going to buy Atom to just buy and sell. So they look at that as a criteria, say, hey, this guy is actually a positive, net positive for the ecosystem. We're going to drop the JUNO token to this guy. And that's how JUNO came about, because they're basically bootstrapping the original community, Atom, and then just fair dropping JUNO to everyone.
Fair drop. Okay, that's a coll name. Fair drop.
Airdrop is an extra F, right?
Right, and I also know Cosmos, one of the, in general, they're quite fair with the distribution of tokens as well, right?
Yeah. So that is interesting, because that's the reason why we want to talk about today regarding Proposal 16, right?
Yes. Okay, so some context. What is JUNO, and then what is Proposal 16, and why is it important?
JUNO is basically an L1 that's built on Cosmos. When I say that, right, it doesn't sound very special. It is essentially the same as Terra network. Luna, Terra, you can actually build different dApps on Terra as well.
Right,
you can build different dApps on Secret Network as well. And these are all layer ones, like your Ethereum, like Solana, some of the more popular names that our viewers may understand. But JUNO has a unique benefit in that it is built on the Cosmos ecosystem. So that means it's interlinked to all the chains that are going to be potentially built in the future in Cosmos. So if I were to send my JUNO to Terra, once Terra supports it, it probably costs about 1 cent, 2 cents. If you do that on Ethereum, it's probably going to cost like 10x more, or, well, gas fee is a bit lower right now, but still easily 20x more.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Makes very little sense if you have the Cosmos ecosystem as a competitor. Now, regarding Proposal 16, why this is monumental is because when JUNO was fair dropped to Atom stakers, right? One thing in the proposal, in the white paper, said that there was going to be a whale cap. For context, whale means someone with a shit ton of money in crypto. And JUNO does not want that, because generally when you have whales, right? Imagine if I was a whale who has like 10% of JUNO, for example. I decide like one day I want to cash out right in the sunset. That's going to screw up the price of JUNO massively. At least in some of these liquidity pools, which doesn't have enough JUNOs. Now, the whale cap was at 50,000. So if I had 50,000 Atom stake, right, I would have gotten 50,000 JUNOs, which is okay, because that's probably about less than 0.5% or whatever amount that is of JUNO that's existed. Now, there's this one guy in Japan, or this one group in Japan. That people are saying they're in a pyramid scheme or Ponzi scheme group, because basically what they did is they get investors' money and they said, we're going to introduce you to the Cosmos ecosystem. We're going to use your money to buy Atom, and we're going to stake it, and then you're going to get a sweet APR of like 20%. I think whenever a traditional investor thinks that, hey, you get 20% return, right? That's like
really good already.
It's amazing, right? Like some more. Plus, Atom went up from probably sub $1 to now about $25. So it's amazing returns already. And he has about, if I'm not wrong, right, he has about, I think it's about 30 million Atom.
30 million.
30 million, sorry.
30 million worth.
30 million, I think it's around 30 million Atom. Sorry, no, it's about 5 million Atoms.
Right, 30 million. Oh, so that would be hundreds of millions worth.
It's a huge amount in terms of Atom, right? So with that, right, if he puts all his Atoms in one wallet, the amount of JUNO that he would have gotten is 50,000, because there was
of the whale cap, right?
Yeah. But this guy, and I gotta say, personally, I applaud him for doing this because he's quite smart, right? And also for security reasons. He put all his Atoms, he sprayed it out across 60 wallets. So he was not capped to getting 50,000 JUNO tokens. He was allowed 60 times 50,000, which brings it to about 3 million. So 3 million JUNO tokens over 60 wallets. And in fact, right, if he just left it there, no one would have known about it. But what he did was he consolidated all his JUNO tokens into one wallet.
That was his quote-unquote mistake.
Fatal error, right? And then he staked that token. Staking means you kind of just, you lock it for about 20 over days, and then after that you get a distribution of about 100% a year. 100% is amazing, by the way. Now, I think the gray area of this whole saga comes where people realize, right, this Japanese community, Japanese group, Ponzi scheme, however you want to call it, they did not disclose to the members that they actually got the airdrop JUNO. So they were holding it. And for context, right, they were holding about $100 million worth of JUNO. The market cap of JUNO right now is roughly around 1.4 billion. So they own about 10%-ish of the entire supply of JUNO, without letting the early backers who gave them money to buy Atom know about it. And let me get back to Prop 16 right now. So after this was discovered, right, Proposal 16 right now says they want to refund the gamed tokens, the gamed JUNO tokens. They want to reduce the guy's holdings of 3 million JUNOs to now 50,000, because 50,000 was the original whale cap. So right now, this proposal, as we speak, right, on the 17th of March, has just passed. And
what was the margin of the passing? Do you roughly remember?
the margin of passing, okay, let me just have a look at it, right? The voting just ended. Now, for a lot of these proposals or votes on Junos, right, or any proof of stake blockchains, right, I think the turnouts are probably 20%, 30%. People don't give a damn about it.
Yeah.
Now, this proposal got 98.22%
Oh,
turnouts.
wow.
And the result was 40% voted yes. 33% voted no. They don't want to take the money from the whale. And then, interestingly enough, right, the whale who had so much token, he has governance rights as well. He can vote as well. He chose to abstain because he wanted to remain neutral and let the community decide.
Wow, so
And
nice.
the abstain result was 21%. So it was really tight result. It's a tight three-way result. But the vote passed. It is a yes. So I think the logical next step would be, however, that the Juno community is going to do it, dig into the whale's wallets, take out
90 over percent, 98, 99%
Juno,
of the Juno.
and then they want to distribute it to community pools and as staking rewards as well. But there might be another proposal 17 coming up because the saga continues, I think later this week, right, where this Japanese whale is going to dox himself and go on to two very prominent crypto Cosmo YouTubers live stream, and then share his opinion, share his thoughts. He's basically saying that he's innocent, he didn't know about it, and he has never intended to do harm to the Juno community. He has always wanted to support the community as a whale, or whatever his capacity may be.
But I don't see like why they need to like. Yeah, I guess it's financially fair, but I don't know. What do you think of all of this? Because this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time in crypto history, I think.
Yep. Do you personally vote in a lot of governance proposals? Because I personally can't be arsed.
I voted in, I think, the MYT one for Terra, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think, yeah, you're right.
And
That's
I
probably
voted in the recent Time Wonderland to get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever it's financially incentivizing for myself, then I will just go out of my way and just go vote.
Yeah.
But this marks as we said, a historic moment in proof of stake blockchain, right? Because basically how proof of stake blockchains govern themselves is through voting.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in history that a blockchain or a governance vote is taking away money from a single entity's wallet out.
Yeah.
And then kind of like Robin Hood, right, distributing it to the rest of the people. I don't know what to think about this. Personally, I voted no. I don't think it's exactly right because there are signs that says that this whale did not know that there was an airdrop of Juno because he started staking in 2020 when Juno wasn't even proposed as a token.
Of course, yeah. He has a case there. I think there's only two things for me to observe as an outsider. Again, I have zero financial, I have like 0.5 Cosmos maybe. So I guess there's some financial interest. But I think there are only two observations I can make. I think one is that it gives us outsiders an idea of the personality of Cosmos. Cosmos is a very, let's call it a very European-like, a very ironically Japan-like country where they want more economic equality for everybody. And so obviously when they take the money, so-called, this act of Robin Hooding, right? They don't see it as wrong because they want everybody to play fair, and it's not like one guy is taking it, it's taking it for the rest of the community. The second thing is that the guy probably feels hard done, but what I like about this second Satoshi Nakamoto, let's call him, is that he abstained from voting when he can actually block it, right?
Yeah, I think his vote would have swayed the majority of the results. Easily.
Right. So this is a very weird scenario where, I would never think that all these kind of events would happen at once. And that's why I use the example of the personality, because it's ironic. I say it's like Japan, right? And the Japanese guy is behaving exactly how I'm describing, where he's like, oh, yeah, it was fair. He didn't know, maybe he just want to make money for his his investors or whatever. And he was just being smart about it. And if there was a third thing, is a third observation is that, he had 60 wallets. He was willing to create 60 wallets for what? He should have just created 60 Juno wallets, right? Sorry, 60
Kepler wallets.
Kepler wallets to get Juno. But I think he got tired. So, another 60, I got 120 to manage or something like that, right? So that's probably why. But those are my thoughts. I don't have much to add.
I mean, just to end, right? This is I don't know what this ripple effect might transcend beyond just Juno, you know, because if someone decides that someone's unworthy of holding this amount of tokens, what if, you know, I worked my ass off and I made a ton of money and I decide to buy, you know, 10% of Solana supply or Osmosis supply or Terra Luna supply, and then, you know, I go tweet something stupid that might get me cancelled. Like something homophobic or whatever it is, right? And does the governance have a say in saying that, hey, we don't think this guy represents or should represent such a large chunk of Terra Luna?
Right.
And then they cancel me and then they take away my funds. You know, it might set a precedence for something like that. That's, of course, a major extreme example, but this is step one.
That is very interesting. And thanks to Prop 16 to introduce such a scenario. Gives us a lot of insights into what the possibilities could be. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, share it with your friends. And of course, you know, follow us on our socials, Instagram, we have personal Twitter accounts. Join our very juicy Telegram group where we get a lot, too much Cosmos information.
And you know what? I can continue this conversation in the chat group as well.
Yeah, all right. Signing off.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell. And if you want to keep the conversation going, we have a very lively Telegram group called DeFIRL Degens, and we'll leave the link to it in the description or the comment section down below.